What's up, Windwalkers, and welcome to my Heroic Gallywix guide. Today, I'm going to go through how I think the fight should be played by a Windwalker, where I think best is to pop cooldowns as well as hold them, and just a general fight overview from a Windwalker perspective. Now, right off the bat, this is one heck of a long fight. This won't be the case for the whole tier, but right now, the strategy is to 6 or 8 heal, and just repeat the phases over and over until you get the takedown. Starting off with gear, this is the setup that I ran. I opted for a two-hander for this fight as there are intermittent ad spawns, and these ads need to be nuked down as fast as possible, so anything to give you that edge is useful. Once again, I'm chucking the damage breakdown up early in the video, and this feeds directly into the talents and what I'll discuss throughout the video. Take a note of the Crackling Jade Lightning damage, it is vital. Moving on to the talents quickly, this is what I ran. Last Empress Capacitor and Power of the Thunder King are must-takes for this fight, and as I was using a two-hander, I opted for Transfer the Power, but if I was dual-wielding, I would have run Dual Threat instead. Alright, enough rambling. Let's go through the fight then, shall we? So, right off the bat, for Phase 1, you're split into two separate groups about even numbers on different sides of the boss room. Initially, I open with a single target opener, nothing too crazy here, and we're going full in with Conduit. Now, the main mechanic of this phase is a frontal that your entire side needs to soak. I gets it first as I'm group 1, so I pop Touch of Karma for this, and then just continue my rotation. Everything is chilling. Now, basically, this entire phase is a dance between each quadrant. So you wait for the giant Minecraft box to come in, and then you run to the other side, and then you pretty much repeat this. There's a lot of stuff you need to be dodging in this phase, so movement is vital. Otherwise, it's just soak heat slices and you're A-OK. Now I'm going to talk about Crackling Jade Lightning here. Crackling Jade Lightning is absolutely vital for this fight, and you need to be popping it at certain times to get the most value. So I've worked out in Phase 1, you can pop about 2 full Crackling Jade Lightnings, and then your third one you hold until you're about to go into Phase 2. In terms of defenses as well for the pizza cones, I like to use Touch of Karma at the start so that I can get that extra damage bonus. Then I like to use Fuse Magic, and for the final pizza cone, I use Fortifying Brew. Now you can see I also didn't cast my second Storm Murphy Fire, and that's because we don't Bloodlust on pull, so I won't get as much value as I could out of it. Instead, I'm holding it for about midway through the fight. So, we're about to get into the second phase, and I've cast 2 Crackling Jade Lightnings, and now I'm doing my best to get my third one ready to go for the ads. I pop my major cooldowns again to get as much boss damage as possible, because boss damage is key here, but so is ad damage. The ads need to drop. If the ads don't die, the phases extend, you get double ad sets, and it's pretty much a wipe. So you see I'm on 20 stacks here, I don't spend it initially, I cast Strike of the Windlord and then I send it. That way I get the additional Gale Force damage. As well as this, I then suddenly fully target the ads. Ad focus is super vital here. We found that one of our biggest reasons we wiped on this boss a few times was because we just didn't get the ads down in time. Once all the ads are down, we're into Phase 2. He zooms off to the side and summons some goons. Do not focus these goons. Cleave them down. You'll have enough damage to cleave them down. Boss damage is super vital, especially in a 9-minute fight. However, you do want to be getting some Crackling Jade Lightning value here. So stack it up as much as you can, but if these goons are going to die before you spend it a little bit earlier to get that value. As well as that, you can get either a nice touch of death on the small ads initially, or the big ads just then, but you want to get the touch of death value during this fight so you can get more boss damage. Now, you'll see that my cooldowns are about to come up. I am not going to send them. The reason for this is we're going to get a group soak. 3 players get circles on them, and the group have to soak. The boss dashes to the middle of the room as well. If I pop my cooldowns here, I lose about 3 or 4 seconds of uptime. That's a lot. So instead, I hold them for the ads. Ads need to die? Well, I might as well send everything into the ads, right? As well as that, I've built up Crackling Jade Lightning stacks, and I shoot them at the ads as soon as I can. Even casting your stacks a little bit early here to guarantee you hit 5 targets is more vital than getting up to 20 and hitting 1 or 2. The value is immense. So, now you might notice, the exact same thing repeats. The big goons arrive, the boss is doing some crazy mechanics, and we're going to get soaks. This entire fight is very rinse and repeat, and that's why you can play it for 9 minutes, because there's no enrage on this boss. In terms of defensives, I do hold them for pretty specific times during the fight. Defensives should be used for when you're soaking. Soaking takes a lot of damage. If you don't have a defensive, you probably shouldn't soak. This is probably the most awkward soak because you have to run across at the same time. And now we need to push him before he goes to the middle. So we pop Bloodlust, and you'll see that I've propped a Storm, Earth, and Fire. This is when I'm going to get the most value out of my second Storm, Earth, and Fire. Even though my major cooldowns aren't up yet, it's fine. It doesn't matter. I'm getting as much damage out as possible on this boss during the Bloodlust. Luckily, we push him, so now he's about to go into phase 3, when he gets in his big old mech suit and starts going on an absolute rampage. Crackling Jade Lightnings in this phase are really important. I cast one now because he's not going to go into his ad phase for a while. As I progressed this, I realized I could get one more 20 stack off on the boss before he went into his ad phase, and then after that, you can only get one full on him, one full on ad, one full on him, one full of ad, if that makes sense. As well as that, I popped all my cooldowns at the moment I could to get as much damage as possible while still slightly in the Bloodlust. And now we're just pummeling the boss. Now, things change a little bit in group soak terms. Previously, the group soaks were on a player. Now, they spawn on the ground, and you need at least 3 players inside of each one, or you wipe. The more, the merrier, but 3 players is enough. And he's basically going to repeat exactly what he did in phase 1 with a few extra mechanics. He'll shoot out all these bombs and do a drop-off electric damage, just run out, and then start pummeling again. So I'm building up stats again here, and this time I'm not going to send because I know the boss is about to go into the middle. When he goes into the middle, that's when I want to send. So knowing that ad spawns are important. I don't have many cooldowns here, so I start off with a Crackling Jade Lightning and just start pummeling the ads. It's really useful to have one ad marked so you know which direction your tank's going to pull them, but obviously it's on a guild by guild basis how you do this. Once the ads are down, instantly turn focus to the boss. My cooldowns are up, so I send them again. This lines up quite nicely. Although I didn't line up for the ads, getting as much boss damage is really important as well, so it's not all about getting as much pad as possible, although the ads do need to die. You'll see there are swirlies on the ground. I'm soaking these. I had my diffuse magic up, so it's okay to do so. And now we're just going to pump him. He is going a bit of a sicko mode right now, and he basically repeats this. You've seen this before. Massive AoE electric damage, as well as a lot of swirlies to dodge on the floor. Now you see one of the quadrants is unusable for us. That's just because someone put the bomb in the wrong location. It's alright, not the end of the world, but it means we have an entire quadrant we can't use for the rest of this fight. A little bit awkward, but you manage. Now, I have 2 defenses up, so this time I'm soaking again, and I pop Touch of Karma just to keep myself safe. Be aware, if you soak these without a defensive, you are really going to suffer. So it goes to the middle again, and I stack up my Crackling Jade Lightning as much as I can, and then I absolutely send it. Only on 17 stacks here, but I'd rather send it and hit all the targets than fully stack it and hit one. It's just not worth it. So, things are picking up a little bit here, and the boss is almost kablamoed. I'm going to get one more set of cooldowns, but we need to nuke this boss as fast as possible, ideally before he goes into another ad phase. So, he starts casting again, and now it's Guess Out once again. We're very familiar with this. And then jump back in once he's done his fall-off damage. I pop all of my cooldowns here to try to get as much as possible. Touch of Death lines up really nicely as well. And now we're just fully sending it into the boss. Boss damage is crucial here. I'm also building up Crackling Jade Lightning stacks, and I will send another one, and then start building them up once more in case we do go into a final ad phase. Diffuse magic before I get into a soak, which means I'm allowed to soak it. All good on my end. And we're just pummeling the boss. This is a really rinse and repeat. Once you've done this a couple of times, you'll be really familiar with what's actually going on in this fight. It's very strange, to be honest, that they don't have an Enrage on this, and I'd be surprised if they didn't add one. So this is where things get a little hectic, and I was very delayed. You can see that I Flying Serpent kicked through hell on earth just then. Luckily, I managed to survive it. However, moving out a bit faster probably would have been smart. Unfortunately, we do get one more ad phase, so we got a pump. I try to build up as many Crackling Jade Lightning stacks as possible so that I can send them on the ads. I send it about 17, not the end of the world, but as I've said, it's really important to send them out and hit as many targets as possible, then only hit one target and not get as much value out of it. So, we've got 2 quadrants gone now, things have ramped up a little bit, and now it's a push boss before he pushes us. One more soak on our end, but we managed to get it. I didn't have a defensive for that one, but that was more of like a suicide one where you need to soak it or you'll wipe, so I would have taken one for the team and just died there if it was the case. And we managed to get the takedown. Easy peasy. 9-minute grueling fight. So yeah, that's Heroic Gallywix. It's not as scary as it looks. It's really rinse and repeat. I know I've said that a lot in this video, but it is. He does the exact same mechanics, the exact same timings, on repeat, over and over and over. You could probably push this boss to 20 minutes, honestly, and he'd do the exact same thing. There is no enrage. So slow and steady can really be done here. But the biggest takeaways are you want to be getting Crackling Jade Lightning value, and you want to be getting your cooldowns on the boss as much as possible to get boss damage in. Boss damage is just important as ad damage here. However, the ads do need to die, so don't feel too bad if you pad. Anyway, I've been Windwalker POV. I hope this helps you get you ahead of the curve, and I'll catch you in the next one.